pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Okay, good evening. I think for the roll call, we'll just announce that Ken Boland and Norma Polay Mohammed both indicated that they would not be here this evening. We have a quorum with John Hill, our chairperson Nitsa Verdugo-London, our new commission member Matt Duran, and our commission member Joseph Marsh is here. We also, for the record tonight, the council did approve one additional planning commission member. He happens to be an applicant on our case tonight, so he will not be serving as a commission member this evening, but will be making a presentation as an applicant on the case this evening. Has a representative here representing him on that as well. So we do have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Approval of minutes from April 6th, 2016. Did we have any? Do we hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from April 6, 2016 as written.
All those, and you second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed. Okay, old business. We don't have any, so let's go on to new business. All right, we're going to listen to Cool PZ 16-04-03, major site plan to expand approximately 145,020 square feet of new buildings adjacent to the existing and previously permitted medical marijuana cultivation facility located at 1341 West Industrial Drive in Coolidge, Arizona.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the Commission and members of the audience that are here this evening. And as you mentioned, this is a request by Chuck Wright, doing business as Pinal Design Group, representing the applicant in this case, Agronomy Innovations. The Halbys are here this evening, and they may want to introduce some other individuals as this meeting progresses. They have made the application this evening. It's for a major site plan for the Commission's benefit and the benefit of the audience, and those may be watching this televised. The Planning and Zoning Commission previously approved the conditional use permit that allowed for the expansion of this type of activity onto the adjoining property that they are currently operating out of at the Coolidge Industrial Park. They're on Industrial Drive. They currently occupy the former Mesa Fully Formed property, a portion of that property, the building which is on the east of that complex. And the proposal this evening is to expand their business onto the adjoining site, which was previously owned and being developed by Reveg Services. They've acquired this property following the approval of the conditional use permit and are moving forward with expansion plans, as you will see this evening in your and that you've seen in your site plan. The proposal would expand approximately 145,020 square feet of new buildings, again adjacent to their previously approved site plan for the medical marijuana cultivation facility. The majority of this expansion involves a greenhouse facility for the cultivation of the product there on that property. Medical marijuana cultivation and dispensaries are permitted in the city limits, subject to the city's medical marijuana ordinance. That ordinance does require a conditional use permit, which I did mention they previously received for this particular site. The medical marijuana ordinance in the way of history was put in place following the changes to the state law that allows for the dispensing and cultivation of medical marijuana. I personally have visited this site, this operation. I was privileged to go in and witness how they conduct the business in this facility. I was very impressed by their operations. I don't know if any of you have had an opportunity to go. I think Chairperson London, you have, but it is a fascinating business. Obviously, this product does have a very beneficial use in the way of treating patients with chronic illness, cancer patients, and a variety of other ailments. I'm impressed by their knowledge of cultivation. I believe this facility represents one of the finest cultivation facilities in the state of Arizona in the facility that they operate. And I think as they continue to expand, they'll be even more recognized for the product that they're producing from this facility. My understanding in talking with the applicant is they'd like to do more than just cultivation. Eventually, they'd like to get into the other products, potentially manufacturing inhalers, the other patches, other products that use this product in a variety of applications, which would be really good because then we're talking manufacturing in addition to the cultivation, which would hopefully increase the employment opportunities for the city of Coolidge and residents here. It's quite an investment. We have reviewed the proposed site plan. As I mentioned, it's in the industrial park, the Coolidge Industrial Park. It's appropriately zoned. It does have an approved conditional use permit. We reviewed the site plan, and you'll find in your staff report we have identified all of the issues that were typically reviewed as part of a site plan application. We feel the site is sufficient in area to accommodate the proposed use, and that the activities on this site will be beneficial to the area and to the community. The city staff is recommending approval of Cool PZ 16-03-04, a major site plan for the proposed Agronomy Innovations medical marijuana cultivation facility expansion, subject to the following conditions. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to read through those for the benefit of the audience and the applicant and the commission members. The first condition of approval is that the cultivation facility must adhere to all State Department of Health Service requirements for the production of medical grade marijuana. They are heavily regulated by the state of Arizona under the laws, and they will abide by those laws as they continue to produce this medical grade marijuana out of the facility. That a final landscape plan must be submitted with building plans that comply with the city landscape ordinance. Obviously, subject to the approval of the site plan, they'll move forward with building plan preparation for building permit, which would include a site plan, a landscaping plan for the frontage. Some of the site has already been landscaped. If you've gone out there, Re-Veg Services did some minor landscaping, but there were a lot of improvements that they didn't complete on this site because they never occupied that facility. And so this applicant will finish some of those site improvements that were not previously installed. Item number 3, a sidewalk must be installed along the industrial drive frontage, matching the width of the sidewalk in front of the Bright Industries facility immediately to the east. No razor or barbed wire will be allowed on the chain link fence along the east and south property lines. The city will require a complete drainage report and grading and drainage plans as part of the civil plans needed to develop the site prior to issuance of building permits. Detached signage is limited to one low-profile sign, not exceeding 4 feet in height. Staff recommends that a lighting plan be submitted with final building plans and that the lighting on the site be shielded, fully shielded, to prevent glare onto the street and surrounding properties. The lighting must comply with the city's light control ordinance. For the benefit of the applicant, basically the city of Coolidge, like many other cities, have a lighting ordinance that protects the dark sky. A lot of this was implemented many years ago when we had an overabundance of glare into the sky, which would affect potentially some of the observatories, especially the ones in southern Arizona. Number 8, security guards and sufficient security cameras must be provided for this facility. I will let you know that as I toured the facility, there are a number of cameras on the site, and I know that they are proposing to do more. I was impressed by the security guard that came out quickly as I pulled into the parking lot to find out what business I had at their facility. And so I do know that they employ a very appropriate security system there in their facility, and will continue to improve upon that. Number 9, the construction of the facility shall adhere to adopted international building and fire codes. 10, the contractor must receive the required air quality permits to manage dust control during construction. And number 11, complete drainage report and grading and drainage plans will be required prior to the development of the site. Number 12, dedication of a 10-foot wide public utility easement along the eastern boundary of the site with no encroachment of fencing or buildings. We've learned through the review by the city's Public Works Department that there is an outflow line that runs across this property along the eastern boundary, and they need a public utility easement for that line. That line, I think, provides effluent from the wastewater treatment plant to the adjoining farmland to the south of this facility. 13, applicant will process a parcel combination through Pinal County, so the entire site is located on one parcel. Number 14, wastewater discharge from the facility must adhere to the pretreatment ordinance if other than a domestic sewer product is expected, and then any other conditions the commission deems necessary. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions that you may have regarding the operation or those that I can't answer. The applicant is here this evening to answer for you, but we are recommending approval of the major site plan, subject to the conditions that I've identified.
Some of these conditions were part of the initial conditional use permit, correct?
I don't know. Some of them may be similar. That conditional use permit that was previously approved was recorded at the Pinal County Recorder's Office along with the conditional use permit resolution, which is required by our statute.
This would supersede that one, correct?
They both apply. Yeah, they both. This is a separate application. Major site plan is dealing with the site conditions, parking, landscaping, building elevations, lot coverage.
Actually involve different sites, don't they?
Yeah, so it's really the major site plan really addresses the details and the conditions of the property and the development of the property, where the conditional use permit was really to look at the proposed use to determine whether that use is appropriate in this zoning district at this location. And if you look at the requirements or the conditions of our medical marijuana ordinance that was approved by the mayor and council following the law change that allows medical marijuana cultivation and dispensing, we found through that process that this site does meet all of the requirements of that ordinance.
Thank you.
Have there been any incidents at the site since you've started processing there?
Welcome you to the
Podium?
podium and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Nathan Halby. At this point in time, there has been no incidents at the site.
Okay,
Terrific.
good. Yeah, very good.
We plan to keep it that way. We keep it very secure. We have about 3 security guards on staff during the daytime. We have approximately 90 cameras throughout the facility right now, so we're a very secure facility.
Very good. There's probably going to be a motion or a bill on the next election for legalization of marijuana in Arizona. Should that be passed, what are the future plans for your company?
If that gets passed, the future
Please,
plans...
please speak into the microphone, too.
If that gets passed, the future plans could be further expansion. I know that we've spoken to the city and there's an option for additional property for sale. If it does pass, we plan on expanding and continuing our employment in Coolidge.
Here in Coolidge, okay,
Yes.
good. That's what I was getting at.
Yes.
Good, good.
Do you have any reservations regarding the 14 items that are recommended?
I'm Chuck Wright. I'm the applicant for Pinal Design Group. I was given the packet from Mr. Hanson, and it included only 11 items. 2 or 3 more items have been added, but I don't have any objection to any of those. 2 of those items, number 8 and number 11, are pretty much identical as far as the grading and drainage plan. We've already submitted the full grading and drainage plan and documents to the Public Works Department, so they already have those in their pocket. As far as the security, we already have pretty good security, but Nate will make sure that the security meets the state and city's codes for security cameras and that type of stuff.
which were the two that you added?
Well, actually, let me explain, and I appreciate him bringing that up. At the time the staff report was prepared and submitted to the Planning Commission within our time frame, we subsequently received a list of comments from the Public Works Department. We'd already received information from the Fire Department. Public Works had a list of conditions that, and out of those conditions, I felt the relevant ones were the ones that were added. I conferred with our Public Works Director. The ones that I did add were related to number 14, the wastewater discharge from the facility. The dedication of a 10-foot wide PUE was added. I believe let's see here.
Would they have just added them to the end, Rick?
Yeah, I think I added one up a little higher. Let me just double check.
Do you now have the complete recommendations?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a copy of the 15 recommendations?
I do not have a copy of those. I only have the 12.
I'll make sure he gets this copy. You can have
Yep.
my copy.
And I don't have any objections to those. Those were generated by the Public Works Department. Generally, they don't get a full set of grading and drainage plans with a major site plan application. My company generally does like to get that out of the way up front, and so in their review, and they're usually the last ones to submit comments, and the wastewater and the public utility easement on the east side is not a problem for us.
That is true. You know, many of the comments that I didn't list here are really comments that are more applicable to their building permit application rather than the major site plan. So, but I listed a few of them on here. The 10-foot PUE probably being the most important, plus a discharge of the pretreatment.
What's the relationship with the neighbors around there, the other businesses? How's that relationship?
Our relationship with all of our neighbors is fantastic. We actually purchased the building that we're currently in from our neighbor to the west, Mesa Fully Formed. We've had no incidents with Felix. We get along with them very greatly. And then same thing with Bright International down the road.
Very good, good. You spoke of the security guards. Do they have guard cards? Are they just somebody who have had background checks or what?
No, they are in security service that we hired. They're A to Z security company.
Okay.
They're out of Glendale. They have all the cards and necessary paperwork for guards.
Are they armed?
Yes.
Do you have, what's your relationship with public safety here?
Relationship with them is fantastic too. We have the police department. They actually drive down, speak with our guards on a nightly basis. I actually know most of them on a first name basis, so it's fantastic with them also.
They're not clients, are they?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Got one question. This type of operation, why did you select doing it within the city limits rather than in a county somewhere?
One of the major reasons we came here is my dad is one of my partners. He actually grew up here in the town of Coolidge. This is where he's from. So in searching, we found a fantastic building within city limits. It was back to home, and here we are.
Good, I'd like to take a tour.
Yeah, without a doubt. Come on
Yeah,
down.
that'd be great.
I'd like to introduce Michael Smolin. He's a partner of ours. He will talk about some future expansions and things that we're going to do in Coolidge here.
Super.
Thanks. So again, my name is Michael Smolin, and I can't thank you enough for the support we've gotten up to this point in time. I want to give you a little bit of what we're doing as Alternative Medical Enterprises. That's the company that I founded back in 2014. A little bit of background. My background's in the pharmaceutical industry. I spent 31 years building 3 different startups. Last company I was with was a company called MedImmune. That was a tremendous company. We ended up developing a product for a problem called respiratory syncytial virus, which is a real problem for premature infants. That product has saved the lives of thousands of premature infants over the years. And 10 years into building that company, AstraZeneca came along and bought us for $16 billion. And I retired at that point in time in 2007. Really had no thoughts that I could ever find anything that would give me the kind of passion that I'd had in my years in building healthcare companies. Two personal things got me into this space. I have a daughter with epilepsy, and we spent 10 years. She had her first grand mal seizure sitting in my lap watching a movie at a movie theater. Worst thing that I've ever been through in my life. I think the only thing that might have been worse than that were the next 10 years for the variety of pharmaceutical drugs that we had her on, all drugs that I'm very familiar with. Some kids do reasonably well with some of them. I just happen to have one of those kids that the side effects were extremely debilitating. She was on 8 different drugs. We never could find the right combination. We finally decided to take her off of all medication, which was very risky. And it's the best thing that's ever happened. She's been 5 years without a seizure, and she's just doing great. She's a great athlete and doing well. Same time that was going on, I had a brother who died of bladder cancer, and I watched the stuff that he went through, particularly with opioid addiction, which was horrible. And in 2014, I happened to see, flipping channels, I saw Sanjay Gupta's special in Colorado with this little girl, Charlotte Figge, who was suffering from 300 seizures a day, and I saw where medical cannabis had this miraculous impact on her. Truth be told, I've never used cannabis in my life. I grew up in a family where it was equated with some of the worst things that are out there, so I was struck by what I was watching, and I was moved enough to start doing some of my own research and looking at the work that was being done in Israel. I was blown away with what I saw. And I thought there was a real need for somebody in this country to build a true, serious medical cannabis company with a lot of the same rigor and discipline and business acumen that we saw in the pharmaceutical and biotech industry, because it's clearly lacking. And we started out with the thought that we would build the premier company in Florida. Sarasota is where we're headquartered. We have 18 employees working in there now in medical affairs and product development and marketing. When the amendment failed in 2014, we spent a great deal of time looking for the right place to build our first grow, which we wanted to make state-of-the-art and have it be really the model for the rest of the country. And we looked in a number of states. We settled on Arizona. We were so blessed that we found the perfect opportunity with Nate and the Halbys and what they were doing, because they had a very similar vision, which is different than most people in terms of the way they build grows. So make no mistake, what we're building here in Coolidge is going to be not just the state-of-the-art grow in Arizona. We're not going to stop until it's recognized as being the top indoor grow in the United States. And I want to give you a sense for the kinds of things and plans that we have for Coolidge. This is our flagship grow. We will have a grow in Florida which will be modeled after what we're doing here in Coolidge. We'll probably have other grows in other states that will be modeled after but this will always be our flagship. We have a number of legislators from Florida, as an example, in September, that are scheduling a tour to come through so they can see what a true medical cannabis facility can look like. So that's going to be taking place, in early September. We have thoughts and plans. You mentioned manufacturing. Right now, because of the way the laws are in this country, you have to go into every state and do your own manufacturing in each state and growing of product. And we have those plans to do that, and we will do that in 3 different states starting in Arizona. We have a number of products that are unique to this marketplace, products that we think physicians will embrace, and parents who have kids like I had would be more willing to use this form of delivery because it's going to offer consistent and more precise dosing, and something that the medical community is familiar with. So we have a patch, that's transdermal patch, that's completed. We have a metered dose inhaler. We have a nebulizer. We've got a line of topicals that are ready to go. We will start in Arizona first. But the goal is, we've made a decision that once medical cannabis goes to a Schedule II, which could happen even as early as August with some of the things that you're reading, our thought and plan is not to do our manufacturing in Florida for the country. It'll be done here in Coolidge. I mean, that's the goal for us right now. There are a number of things that I just want to mention to you that we do in Sarasota without having any business there without making any money in Florida. We have been one of the largest contributors to 3 foundations that we believe in and support very strongly. One of them, a pediatric epilepsy foundation, another one for pediatric brain cancer, and another one for ALS. We will be doing the same kinds of things here. We have a compassionate use program that we're developing for Florida right now that we will extend to Arizona. I want to make sure that every kid that has intractable epilepsy can get this product. And right now, what we're trying to model out is whether or not we can give that for free to every kid that needs it with intractable epilepsy. And a lot of that would be a nod to my daughter, Kayla, who's pretty excited about the fact that we're going to be doing this. So, we're very committed. We've already seen in the last few months, our goal is to hire as many employees from Coolidge as we can hire. Houses that we rent, houses that we buy, cars that we buy. We're going to start here in Coolidge first. We want to support the community. You guys have been great with us, and we want to, over the course of the next few years, show you that we're walking the talk. So, Coolidge to us will always be our flagship grow for the U.S. and maybe beyond that, because we'll have businesses in Canada as well. But it all starts here. So I want you to know we're a different kind of company. We're trying to bring a different face to medical cannabis. We've invested a lot of money up to this point in time. Some of it comes from my family and my partner Bill Petron, who's over there, who's jumped into this in the same way that we have. But we're very serious about what we do, and everything from product development to the way that we grow our product to the way that we'll dispense our product is going to be at a level that hasn't really been seen, in the U.S. at this point in time. So I just wanted to give you a sense for who we really are and what we're doing and the importance of Coolidge to our business moving forward.
Thank you.
I'm wondering about the residuals after the THC is extracted. Are you donating it to other companies to make products like, I know they make clothing and all kinds of things out of the hemp. Is there other things that are happening, or are you going to do that also on site? Or
At this point in time, the state limits what we can do with our waste. We're not able to give it to other companies. We're not able to really do much but destroy it at this point in time. If that opportunity becomes available, we would definitely seek out something like that.
Yeah, because it's really...
Where does it go?
Right now it gets disposed of in the garbage. So it goes through a vinegar process where it becomes inert and essentially a mush, and then it's disposed of in our garbage cans that are behind secure doors.
I don't have anything else.
Yes. Do you have a motion? Remind us of how we say the motion again, because of all of the...
Well, this is not a conditional use permit, so we're not talking about a resolution this evening. This is just a motion to approve the major site plan, and for the benefit of the applicant and the benefit of the people that may be watching, the major site plans are reviewed and consider, the approval or denial is made by the Planning and Zoning Commission. This case does not go to the City Council unless someone wanted to appeal a decision, or if the applicant was not happy with conditions, they could appeal the commission's decision to council on a particular condition, but it doesn't sound like
So we don't have
either
to
of those.
mention the recommendations, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you basically would make a motion to approve with the conditions that were read by the Director Miller.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve Cool PZ-16-04-03 as written with the recommendations.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Madam Chair, I would like to, first of all, this is the first evening that I've met Michael and his group, so I appreciate you being here. What you've said tonight is very exciting. I'm also, in my capacity, here tonight as Planning and Growth Management Director over Planning and Zoning Issues, but I also am the community's Economic Development Director, President of the Coolidge Economic Development Committee, and very happy to meet you tonight and hope that we can continue to work on a very positive relationship for the expansion of a very viable biomedical industry in Coolidge. Could be the start of some really good things to come.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, make a motion to,
We're not there
oh, I'm sorry. You still have other stuff, don't we?
Reports from growth management.
Well, I've been busy with a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats these days, serving as interim city manager, growth management director, and other.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I appreciate that. I'm honored to do that for the city of Coolidge. I have a great admiration for the city and the leadership here. A lot of good things going on in the community. The Circle K, the very nice Circle K, actually a state-of-the-art Circle K. If we get excited about those things in Coolidge, is now under construction up between the Walgreens and the Sonic Drive-In. That is a very exciting project.
About that for a little while now.
Yeah.
We have been, and it's good to see that they got started on that project. It'll be a very attractive addition to the community. Just the work that's going on at the Artisan Village, which I'm very active in, is continuing. It's a wonderful program for the city. A lot of things that can be done there, and it's really something we can sell to people that come here in the artistic community. Which, and I know the Halbys have been over there to visit that facility, and we're very appreciative of their interest in that and how that just adds to the quality of life, not only for residents of this community, but for the region. So I don't really have anything else to report at this time. Oh, I should say one other thing. I'm sorry. I would like to welcome Matt Duran, our new commission member, as well as Ray Halby. Ray, he's not sitting up here tonight because, as I mentioned earlier in the conversation, he's the applicant this evening, but we'll be excited to work with Ray. Both of these individuals I came to know a great deal more through the interview process. They were reviewed by a couple of council members and recommended to the council for their approval to serve. We're grateful to their for them and their service to the community, serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you, guys.
Welcome. It's exciting to have like a full crew now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll be full now.
Yeah.
Be nice. Appreciate your patience too. I know both of you submitted applications a while back, so.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Nothing.
Just as a little side story, because I want to make this meeting longer, I took a tour, just outside of everything, of the facility here in Coolidge, and it was my first tour, so I thought everything was wonderful, fantastic, everything's new. I was probably like a kid, just whoa, wow, and what does that do, and whatever. And then I had the opportunity to take a tour of a different site, one that is in the East Valley, an indoor grow. And if I were to compare the two, I mean, just the moment I drove up to that facility in East Mesa, you smelled the smell was right. I mean, I even parked across the street where, not even close. When I drove up to this facility, I didn't even know what was going on inside until you walked into that other door that takes you, after they did the security check and everything. So it's very impressive, only because I could compare the two, and it was amazing, the comparison. And my feet were yucky when I got out of the other, grow where I did the other tour. I smelled like product. It was just very eye-opening. So only have toured two facilities, but big difference in the two. So that's my little story to make it longer. But thank you. I appreciate that I was able to go take a tour. It's very impressive. But I've got nothing else. Anybody else? All right, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.